Good morning and welcome back, students. We will continue our topic of enzymes. So today's competency is competency number 2.4, in which today's topic is enzyme inhibition. So first we will see what is meant by enzyme inhibition. Decrease in the enzyme activity due to presence of inhibitor or inhibitors in the medium is called as enzyme inhibition. So enzyme inhibition is nothing but decrease in the enzyme activity or decrease in the velocity of the reaction due to presence of inhibitor in the medium. So the inhibitor may be organic or inorganic. Now, depending upon the mechanism of action of inhibition, there are three main types of inhibition. First, competitive inhibition, non-competitive inhibition and allosteric inhibition. So we will study these inhibitions one by one. So first type of competition is competitive inhibition. Why it is called as competitive? Because in this type of competition, the substrate and inhibitor have similar structure. Therefore, inhibitor is also called as analog of substrate or substrate analog. As their structure is same, substrate and inhibitor competes to bind at the active site of the enzyme, and hence this type of inhibition is known as competitive inhibition. So there is a competition between enzyme and substrate to bind at the active site of the enzyme. Now, who will succeed to bind at the active site of enzyme? Those which have more concentration, then it will bind at the active site of the enzyme. For example, if the concentration of inhibitor is more, then inhibitor binds with the enzyme to form EI complex, enzyme inhibitor complex. If concentration of substrate is more, then substrate is succeed to bind at the active site of the enzyme to form ES complex, enzyme substrate complex. So here the binding at the active site depends upon the mutual concentration. If concentration of substrate is more, then substrate bind with the enzyme to form ES complex, and that ES complex is temporary. All of us know that ES complex is further broken down into enzyme and product, and at the end of the reaction that enzyme becomes free to participate in the next reaction. So this is about substrate. But when inhibitor concentration is more, at that time inhibitor succeeds to binds at the active site of the enzyme and forms EI complex, enzyme inhibitor complex. That EI complex will not be further broken down. Therefore, that enzyme will not able to participate in the reaction. Therefore, that enzyme molecules goes out of the reaction, and hence velocity of the reaction is affected, because velocity depends upon the number of enzyme molecules. And when we will get Vmax, maximum velocity, when all enzyme molecules present in the medium participates in the catalysis, at that time only we will get the maximum velocity. But if EI complexes are formed, that means that enzyme molecule does not participate in the reaction, so velocity of the reaction is affected. If both substrate and inhibitors are present in the medium, then as I have told you, if the substrate concentration is more, ES complexes are formed. If inhibitor concentration is more, EI complexes are formed. So that depends upon the mutual concentration. Competitive inhibition is reversible type of inhibition. That means once EI complexes are formed, they are not permanent. That means once inhibitor binds with the enzyme, that binding is not permanent. That can be reversed by increasing the substrate concentration. In the lower reaction, I have shown you EI complex plus increase in the substrate. That means if substrate concentration is increased, then that increased substrate will break the EI complex or removes the inhibitor from the active site and binds at the active site to form ES complex. So EI complexes can be broken down by increasing the substrate concentration, and that enzyme molecule again participate in the reaction. Therefore, this type of inhibition is called as competitive inhibition. Many pharmacological actions of drugs can be explained by the principle of competitive inhibition. That means majority of our drugs inhibits the enzyme by competitive inhibition. So this is the graph of competitive inhibition. The upper graph is obtained when no inhibitor is present in the medium, but when we add competitive inhibitor in the medium, we will get the lower graph. If we compare the two graphs, then we can see that lower graph is touching the upper graph. That means in the presence of competitive inhibitor, the lower graph is able to achieve the maximum velocity. And when maximum velocity is achieved, when there is involvement of all enzyme molecules in the reaction. So in the presence of competitive inhibitor, maximum velocity can be achieved, and the condition is that we have to increase the substrate concentration. In the last slide, we have seen that EI complexes can be broken down. When EI complexes is formed, Vmax is not achieved. That EI complexes means that enzyme molecule does not participating in the reaction. We have to break that EI complex. That means we have to remove the inhibitor from that enzyme molecule. And in the last slide we have seen that EI complexes can be broken down, but we have to increase the substrate concentration. So in competitive inhibition, we can achieve a maximum velocity or Vmax of the reaction just like normal reaction. But for that purpose, we have to increase the substrate concentration to break the EI complexes and make available all enzymes to participate in the catalysis. So Vmax is achieved. Now come to x-axis. On the x-axis, Km is there. And what is Km? Km is nothing but it is a substrate concentration at half of the maximum velocity. So in the absence of inhibitors, the Km is low. That means substrate concentration requirement is low. But as soon as we have added a competitive inhibitor, Km has increased, which is shown by Kmi. So it indicates that when inhibitors are present into the medium, competitive inhibitors are present into the medium, then the Km is increased. That means we have to increase the substrate concentration to achieve the half of the maximum velocity. And why more substrate is required? More substrate is required to break the EI complexes. As the Km value is increased in competitive inhibition, it suggests that the affinity between enzyme and substrate decreases. What Km indicates? What is the importance of Km? Importance of Km is Km indicates affinity between enzyme and substrate. So when the Km is high, that means affinity between enzyme and substrate is low. It is inversely proportional. So when there are no inhibitors, Km is low. That means affinity between enzyme and substrate is high in the absence of inhibitor. But as soon as we have added the competitive inhibitors, the Km is increased. That indicates that affinity between enzyme and substrate is decreased. This is because active site have now two choices. Either it may bind with substrate or it may bind with inhibitor. So as both are binding at inhibitors, so active sites have two choices to bind. Therefore affinity between enzyme and substrate get decreases. So this slide shows same thing. Vmax remains unchanged, that is maximum velocity does not change. We can achieve the maximum velocity by increasing the substrate concentration, but as we have increased the substrate concentration, naturally Km is increased. So in the presence of inhibitor, Km is achieved at high substrate concentration and Km indicates affinity. So affinity between enzyme and substrate get decreases. Now take an example of a drug sulfonamides, which is commonly used as an antibacterial agent. Bacteria synthesizes their own folic acid with the help of enzyme tyrrole synthase shown in the reaction. So the enzyme tyrrole synthase combines PABA, that is para-amino-benzoic acid, and tyrrole glutamic acid to form a folic acid. In our body, we will obtain the folic acid from the diet, but bacteria does not obtain their folic acid from outside. They will synthesize their own folic acid by this reaction. Now this is the diagrammatic representation of competitive inhibition of the enzyme tyrrole synthase. So enzyme tyrrole synthesis was there. The sulfa drugs have complementary shape with that of PABA, para-amino-benzoic acid. So the sulfa drug and para-amino-benzoic acid competes to bind at the active site of the enzyme. As we are giving the sulfa drugs in large concentration, high concentration, the concentration of sulfa drug is more. Therefore, we have seen in competitive inhibition, who will succeed to bind at the active site? Those which have more concentration. So in this case, the concentration of sulfa drug is more, so they will succeed to bind at the active site of the enzyme and forms EI complexes. And I have told you, once the EI complexes are formed, that enzyme molecule does not take part in the catalysis. As the enzyme is ineffective, folic acid is not synthesized in the bacterial cell, and due to deficiency of that folic acid molecule, the bacterial cell will die. So this is the mechanism of action of a drug, antibacterial drug, sulfa drugs, and that antibacterial effect of these sulfa drugs was studied by Gerard and Domingue. Another example is methotrexate. It is a 4-amino 10-methyl folic acid, its chemical name. It is anti-cancer drug. Now in this case, the enzyme is folate reductase, and the substrate for that enzyme is folic acid, and inhibitor is methotrexate. So methotrexate and folic acid have same structure, so they both will compete to bind at the active site of enzyme folate reductase. As the concentration of inhibitors is more, that is methotrexate we are given in large quantity, therefore the methotrexate binds with the enzyme folic acid and inhibit that enzyme. Due to inhibition of that enzyme, the replication in the cell hampers, cell division is hampered, and the cell will die. So this is the mechanism of action of drug methotrexate. Another example is dicaumerol. It is an anticoagulant. The enzyme here is vitamin K epoxide reductase, and the substrate is vitamin K and the inhibitor is dicaumerol. So vitamin K and dicaumerol have similar structure, hence they compete to bind at the active site of the enzyme vitamin K epoxide reductase. Now the fourth example is isonicotinic acid hydrazide, or commonly called as INH drug. It is most commonly used as an anti-tuberculous drug used in the treatment of tuberculosis. So this enzyme pyridoxal kinase has its natural substrate as pyridoxal inside the cell, bacterial cell. The drug is INH. So this INH has structural similarity with that of pyridoxal and inhibits the enzyme pyridoxal kinase. What is the role of pyridoxal kinase? Pyridoxal kinase converts the pyridoxal into pyridoxal phosphate given in the reaction with the help of ATP. As the enzyme pyridoxal kinase is inhibited by the drug INH, pyridoxal phosphate, which is a coenzyme, is not synthesized in the bacteria, and the tuberculous bacteria will die. So this is the mechanism of action of drug INH. So these are the various examples of drugs, their enzyme inhibition and clinical use. Allopurinol, enzyme inhibited, xanthine oxidase, used in gout. Dicomarol, just we have seen. Another is penicillin, which is very famous antibiotic. Enzyme inhibited by penicillin is transpeptidase, used as an antibacterial drug. Sulfonamide, just we have seen. Trimethoprim, it is also a antibacterial drug. It also inhibits the enzyme folate reductase. Pyrimethamine, again used in malaria by inhibiting the enzyme folate reductase. Methotrexate, just we have studied. 6-mercaptopurine, it is also a anti-cancer drug and it inhibits the enzyme adenylosuccinate synthetase. So these are the various examples of drugs and the names of the enzyme which are inhibited by these drugs. Again, this slide shows the same thing. Here lovastatin is very frequently asked in the exam. Lovastatin drug is used to decrease the cholesterol, and how it decreases the cholesterol? By inhibiting the enzyme HMG-CoA reductase. Now this HMG-CoA reductase is used for the synthesis of cholesterol in the body. After seeing the competitive inhibition, we will come to see the non-competitive inhibition. In this case, the substrate and inhibitor have different structures. Hence, they will not compete to bind at the active site of the enzyme, and therefore it is called as non-competitive type of inhibition. In this case, the substrate bind at the active site of the enzyme, whereas the inhibitor binds at any place other than active site on the enzyme. So this is the diagrammatic representation of non-competitive inhibition. As I have told you, substrate and inhibitor have different structure. Substrate binds at the active site and inhibitor binds to the enzyme at other place. So in this case, ESI complex is formed. Enzyme substrate inhibitor complex is formed. And this ESI complex is not dissociated. That means that enzyme molecule does not take part into the catalysis. That substrate is not converted into product and it will remain in the medium as it is. Therefore, that enzyme molecule will not able to participate in the reaction. So, in this figure I have shown you, when inhibitor binds to the enzyme and form EI complex, the active site of the enzyme remains free. Therefore, substrate will also binds with the enzyme, but catalysis does not occur. And what is affinity? Affinity between enzyme and substrate is nothing but it is the binding capacity. Here binding capacity between enzyme and substrate does not decreases. As the active site is free, substrate readily binds with the active site of the enzyme, though inhibitors are present. So in case of non-competitive inhibition, the affinity between enzyme and substrate does not changes, simply because active site is free and substrate is anytime will binds at the active site of the enzyme, just like normal cases. So non-competitive inhibitor does not changes the affinity between enzyme and substrate. When affinity does not changes, Km remains unchanged. What Km indicates? Km indicates affinity between enzyme and substrate. So non-competitive inhibitors does not changes the Km. But non-competitive inhibition is irreversible type of inhibition. That means once the inhibitor binds with the enzyme molecule, it does not revert back. That means you cannot displace that inhibitor from the active site of the enzyme. From the enzyme. Though active site is free, but inhibitor does not allow that enzyme molecule to bring the catalysis of the substrate. So EI complexes are formed. Substrate binds at the active site of the enzyme, inhibitor binds at other site of the enzyme, but inhibitor does not allow the enzyme to causes catalysis. Hence, that enzyme molecule does not participate in the reaction. When enzyme molecules does not participate in the reaction, that means velocity of the reaction is affected. So Vmax is decreased. So, non-competitive inhibition is shown by many poisons. Many poisons acts through non-competitive inhibition. So this is the graph showing non-competitive inhibition. From the graph it is clear that maximum velocity of the reaction when there is no inhibitor is high as compared to Vmax in the presence of inhibitor. And why there is decrease in the Vmax? Decrease in the Vmax is simply because inhibitors once binds with the enzyme, it permanently damages that enzyme and does not allow that enzyme to take part in the catalysis. And when catalysis does not occur, velocity of the reaction decreases. But Km does not change. Here Km in both cases remains same. In the presence of inhibitor or in the absence of inhibitor, the Km does not changes. Km simply shows the affinity. Km does not indicate the catalysis. Here catalysis is affected but affinity remains same. Why affinity remains same? Affinity remains same because active site is free. Inhibitor does not bind at the active site. So substrate can readily bind at the active site. But inhibitor inhibits the catalysis. Therefore, velocity of the reaction decreases and Km does not changes. So this slide is showing same. Vmax, maximum velocity decreases, Km remains unchanged. So in the presence of non-competitive inhibitor, Km is achieved at same substrate concentration. So it indicates that affinity between enzyme and substrate is unchanged. So these are the examples. Majority of these inhibitors are poisons: cyanide, fluoride, iodoacetate and heavy metals. Cyanide binds with the enzyme cytochrome oxidase, which is the terminal enzyme of electron transport chain, and inhibits that enzyme permanently. Therefore, that enzyme molecule does not participate in the catalysis. Similarly, fluoride inhibits enzyme enolase. It is a enzyme of glycolysis. Iodoacetate and heavy metals, they have attraction for SH group of cysteine in the enzyme molecules. They bind with that SH group and inhibit the complete enzyme molecules completely. And in this way, by inhibiting the various enzymes, these poisonous substances leads to death. Now, the difference between competitive inhibition and non-competitive inhibition. In competitive inhibition, the inhibitor binds at the active site of the enzyme, whereas in non-competitive inhibition, the inhibitor binds at other site. Structure of inhibitor. Second point is structure of inhibitor. In competitive inhibition, the structure of inhibitor and substrate is same. It is a substrate analog. Whereas in non-competitive inhibition, the structure of inhibitor is different from that of substrate. Competitive inhibition is reversible, non-competitive inhibition is irreversible. In case of non-competitive inhibition, if we increase the substrate concentration, the inhibition is relieved. That means EI complexes can be broken down by increasing the substrate concentration. But in case of non-competitive inhibition, when we increase the substrate concentration, the EI complexes cannot be broken down. We cannot displace the inhibitor from the enzyme site. Therefore, it is irreversible. In case of competitive inhibition, Km is increased, whereas there is no change in Km in case of non-competitive inhibition. In case of competitive inhibition, Vmax does not changes. we can achieve the Vmax by increasing the substrate concentration. But in case of non-competitive inhibition, as the enzyme molecules are permanently damaged by the poisons, that enzyme molecule does not participate in the reaction. So the number of enzyme molecules causing catalysis decreases. So maximum velocity of the reaction also decreases. Now significance is competitive inhibition are shown by many drugs, whereas non-competitive inhibition are seen by poisonous substances. So these are the difference between competitive and non-competitive inhibition. Now come to the third type of inhibition, which is called as allosteric inhibition. Now this is the diagrammatic representation of allosteric enzyme. Here I have shown you two different sites. One is active site denoted by small a, and another is allosteric site denoted by capital A. All of you know, at active site substrate will bind. Here inhibitor binds at allosteric site. In non-competitive inhibition, we have seen that inhibitor is binding to the enzyme at any place, but in this case allosteric inhibitors have separate site for their binding. It is different from active site, but they have separate site. So such type of enzymes have two sites. One is active site and another is allosteric site. Again, the structure of substrate and inhibitor may be different. It is shown by this figure. Structures, they have different shapes. Now, one thing you have to remember now this: when the concentration of inhibitor is more, then inhibitor bind at the allosteric site of the enzyme and brings the conformational change in the active site of the enzyme. Are you seeing the active site of the enzyme? See the difference between this active site and this active site. So here there is a conformational change in the active site of the enzyme, and that is brought by inhibitors. Therefore, though substrate is present, it cannot able to bind at the active site because inhibitor have changed the active site of the enzyme or changed the shape of the active site of the enzyme. As soon as the concentration of substrate increases, then the substrate will bind at the active site of the enzyme and they will bring the conformational change in the allosteric site of the enzyme, reverse, and hence the allosteric inhibitors will not bind. So again, this type of inhibition depends upon the mutual concentration of substrate and inhibitor. Those which have more concentration will able to binds at their respective site. Not only that, after binding at their respective site, they bring the conformational change in the other site. Again, this is showing same. Enzyme binds with substrate to form temporary ES complex, which can be broken down into enzyme and product. At the end of the reaction, enzyme is free to participate in the new reaction. This is a normal. But when inhibitor binds with the enzyme, it forms EI complex, which cannot be broken down. Now, this type of inhibition is partly reversible. And how it is reversible? Again, just like competitive inhibition. If we increase the substrate concentration above the inhibitor concentration, then that increased substrate will displace the inhibitor from the allosteric site and binds at the active site. After binding at the active site, that substrate will brings the conformational change in the allosteric site so that the inhibitor will not able to bind at the allosteric site. So this type of inhibition can be reversed by increasing the substrate concentration. Now the regulatory enzymes of the various pathways of our body acts through the allosteric regulation. First, we have seen competitive inhibition. Majority of the drugs acts by competitive inhibition. Next, we have seen non-competitive irreversible type of inhibition. Majority of the poisons acts through non-competitive inhibition. And third is allosteric inhibition. Our body enzymes, regulatory enzymes of our various pathways acts through the allosteric inhibition mechanism. Again, allosteric enzymes are of two types: K series enzyme and V series enzymes. In K series allosteric enzymes, Km is increased, Vmax does not change, whereas in case of V series allosteric enzyme, Km not changes but Vmax decreases. Why this is so? Because in case of K series allosteric enzymes, there is conformational change in the binding residues of the active site of the enzyme. If we remember our first lecture, and that time I have told you that active site is made up of amino acids, and there are two types of amino acids in the active site: binding residues and catalytic residues. Binding residues of active site binds with the substrate, whereas catalytic residues or catalytic amino acids of the active site brings the catalysis. So in K series of allosteric enzyme, conformational change in the binding residues, hence binding between enzyme and substrate is affected. When binding is affected, that means affinity is affected, Km is increased. Affinity decreases, that means Km is increased. Whereas in case of V series allosteric enzyme, there is conformational change in the catalytic residues, and hence catalysis will not occur properly. Therefore, maximum velocity of the reaction decreases in case of V series allosteric enzymes. So this graph shows the allosteric inhibition when there is no inhibitor and when there is inhibitor. The graph is actually sigmoid shape graph, and from the graph it is clear that when inhibitors are present, the maximum velocity of the reaction is not achieved. So upper graph is showing high maximum velocity as compared to lower graph. So we will get sigmoid shape of curve in case of allosteric inhibition. Now comes to the examples of allosteric inhibition. First example is succinyl-CoA and glycine binds to form delta amino leucinic acid. Enzyme is ALA synthase. Now heme is the allosteric inhibitor of this enzyme. When the concentration of heme is high, then heme binds at the allosteric site of the enzyme ALA synthase and brings the conformational change in the active site of that enzyme, so that the substrate succinyl-CoA and glycine will not bind, and hence it stops the catalysis. Another example is carbamyl phosphate plus aspartic acid. The enzyme is aspartate transcarbamylase. Now enzyme aspartate transcarbamylase convert the substrate into carbamoyl aspartate and inorganic phosphate. Here the allosteric inhibitor is CTP, cytidine triphosphate. When the concentration of CTP increases, that CTP binds with the allosteric site of enzyme aspartate transcarbamylase at allosteric site and brings the conformational change in the active site of the enzyme, so that the substrate will not able to bind at the active site and catalysis stops. These are another examples. Hexokinase enzyme, allosteric inhibitor is glucose 6-phosphate. Fructokinase ATP, isocitrate dehydrogenase ATP, fructose 1,6-bisphosphatase AMP, acetyl-CoA carboxylase, palmitate or palmitic acids. So these are various enzymes and their inhibitors, allosteric inhibitors. One more type of inhibition is given in the book. It is a minor type of inhibition called as suicidal inhibition. Only one example is seen in our body. It is a special type of irreversible inhibition. Inhibitor makes the use of enzyme's own reaction mechanism to inactivate. So therefore it is called as mechanism based inactivation. In suicidal inhibition, the structural analog of substrate is converted to a more effective inhibitor with the help of enzyme to be inhibited, and the new product irreversibly binds to the enzyme and inhibit further reactions. from this example you will understand whatever I have read now. Now on the left side I have shown you xanthine is converted into uric acid with the help of enzyme xanthine oxidase. This reaction is going on in our body cells, conversion of xanthine to uric acid. Uric acid is a waste product which is excreted through the urine. Now enzyme here is xanthine oxidase. Now the allopurinol is a drug which is used in case of gout. Now allopurinol is given to a patient. Now this allopurinol has structural similarity with that of xanthine. So they have structural similarity. So allopurinol is a competitive inhibitor of the enzyme xanthine oxidase. As we are giving allopurinol in large concentration, the allopurinol binds with the enzyme xanthine oxidase and form EI complex. In case of competitive inhibition, we have seen EI complexes are broken down. They are reversibly broken down by increasing the substrate concentration. Up till now, this is a competitive inhibition. But when the allopurinol binds with the enzyme xanthine oxidase, the xanthine oxidase convert that allopurinol into alloxanthine. Once this alloxanthine is formed, this alloxanthine binds with the enzyme by irreversible mechanism and causes damage to the enzyme. So alloxanthine is more potent inhibitor as compared to inhibitor. So in this case the original inhibitor is allopurinol, which is reversible, but enzyme convert that moderate inhibitor into potent inhibitor by catalysis. Hence it is called as suicidal inhibition. And who will damage the enzyme here? Alloxanthine is damaging the enzyme. Allopurinol will not damage the enzyme. Alloxanthine is damaging the enzyme. And how alloxanthine is formed? Alloxanthine is formed by the enzyme xanthine oxidase by catalysis. So enzyme is preparing its own potent inhibitor. Hence it is called as suicidal inhibition. Enzyme is damaged. Enzyme is death. Enzyme is die. And who is causing the death of the enzyme? Alloxanthine. And who have prepared the alloxanthine? Xanthine oxidase. So xanthine oxidase is preparing its own potent inhibitor. Therefore it is called as suicidal inhibition. So this is about enzyme inhibition. Thank you very much.